The story begins with us in the midst of our protagonist's execution. He will be beheaded as his method of execution. The executioner lifts up his blade and strikes our protagonist in the neck multiple times. However, the executioner's face soon shows disbelief as none of his strikes could pierce through the protagonist's nape, even breaking the executioner's sword. The people, including the head, are stunned by what they have just witnessed. Nonetheless, our protagonist conveys no emotion whatsoever since he's already accepted his fate. Later, a woman holding a pen and paper converses with our protagonist while he is restrained in his cell. She mentions our protagonist's name, Gabimaru, and that he is a trained shinobi from the village of Iwagakure. Many people died during Iwagakure's training, but in exchange for finishing, they will receive a supernatural body. So breaking a sword using your flesh is a simple task. Gabimaru agrees with the woman, saying that someone with that level of swordsmanship cannot harm him and that he didn't even need to use ninjutsu. This reply intrigues the woman and asks if Gabimaru can show her a technique, which Gabimaru immediately declines. The next day, Gabimaru's execution is resumed, this time by burning at the stake. So they tied him up and, out of mercy, stabbed Gabimaru in the torso, but the blade snapped as soon as it came into contact with Gabimaru's skin. Still reeling from what had just occurred, the executioners proceeded to light the stake. Gabimaru is devoured by the raging fire in an instant. Even so, it was ineffective, as the lively silhouette of Gabimaru can still be seen moments later. Back in his cell, Gabimaru, still smoking and half-naked, converses with the woman once more. Gabimaru claims that he does not intend to resist and instead wishes to be killed. Gabimaru also requests that the woman dress him rather than just sit with her back turned, but the woman responds that her only job is to record details and events, and Gabimaru being naked does not interfere with her task. The woman asks about Gabimaru's background. They begin with his parents, and Gabimaru casually explained that when he was a baby, his parents were murdered by the village chief for no apparent reason, but that he doesn't really care about it. They move on to his dreams, to which Gabimaru replies that a shinobi's job is to kill as instructed. The woman then asks why Gabimaru was caught. Gabimaru responds that he attempted to flee the village, so the village chief directed his adherents to apprehend him during a job. The woman then follows up with another question asking why Gabimaru left in the first place, which he ignored. During the next execution, the method this time is through the use of bulls. The executioners tie a bull on each of Gabimaru's leg to pull, then they light up stacks of hay attached to the back of the bulls, commencing the execution. It appeared to work at first, but before reaching the halfway point, each of Gabimaru's legs stiffened and both bulls couldn't pull anymore, choking themselves. The head is furious and dreads that this may bring shame to the magistrate and insists on bringing more bulls. While this is happening, the woman approaches Gabimaru, who is still tied up, and states that she finds something strange. Gabimaru initially thought she was referring to his shinobi body, but the woman was actually referring to the fact that despite Gabimaru saying that he wants to be killed, he still continues to resist, which bothers the woman. The woman then asks the same question she asked the day before: why did Gabimaru try to flee the village? Gabimaru replies, claiming that he was the best shinobi Iwagakure had to offer, and as a reward, the head chief recognized him and offered his daughter to him for marriage. Gabimaru, on the other hand, wonders how she can be the daughter of a shinobi and still be a carefree, naive, and sheltered girl. Gabimaru claims that after this, the girl turned his life upside down and began influencing him in various ways. This irritated Gabimaru because he didn't want this to affect or dull his skills, so he went to the village chief to have the marriage annulled. However, before the village chief could fulfill Gabimaru's request, he assigned him to one final task. That was a trap set for Gabimaru, and despite knowing it was a trap the entire time, Gabimaru played with it because he knew he couldn't escape Iwagakure, so he gave up. Later that night, while the woman was walking alongside a man, The man tries to warn the woman to stay away from Gabimaru and asks if she knows his real name, Gabimaru the Hollow. They call him this because he expresses no emotions, not even blood. The man also revealed that Gabimaru murdered 20 men before being apprehended. The man also talks about rumors that the shinobi of Iwagakure drink the elixir of life from Shinseikyo. A statement that the woman takes an interest in. Back to Gabimaru, who is still bound, ponders the woman's statement, wondering why he is resisting so much if he has accepted death. So he decides not to resist the execution the next day, which he was unable to accomplish because the following day's execution, which used boiling oil, failed. Everyone is stunned, even Gabimaru himself. During this time the woman whispers to the head saying that arrangements have been made. This is when we are truly revealed as who the woman truly is. Her name is Yamada Sajiri, she is an Asiman executioner from the Yamada clan. For the first time Gabimaru felt like he could actually die. Out of plain instinct Gabimaru breaks out of his cuffs, but this signals Sagari to begin the execution. In a flash, Sajiri positions herself behind Gabimura and strikes for Gabimaru's neck, but he dodges it at the last minute. Sajiri questions Gabimaru why he dodged it because she was sure he could have died from that strike, and Gabimaru is aware of this as well, but Sajiri charges at him again and attacks. Gabimaru dodges all of the attacks. Sajiri claims to have been present in many final moments and she has identified different types of people during these moments. Gabimaru falls in the type that lies to themselves saying that they accept death. Sajiri confronts Gabimaru saying that it was true that he is hollow but lied about the fact that he didn't love his wife, which was quite the opposite. After hearing this, Gabimaru enters a state of denial and swiftly steals one of the guard's swords and uses it to attack Sajiri. Sajiri, on the other hand, is unmoved and doubles down on Gabimaru. Gabimaru continues to deny it but he cannot stop remembering all the good times and memories he had with his wife. This is where we learn why Gabimaru wanted to leave Iwagakure in the first place. It was to live a peaceful and normal life with his wife. Gabimaru claims that what he wants is impossible, but Sajiri proves him wrong by showing him an official pardon. With the use of the official pardon all charges against Gabimaru will be dismissed and no harm shall be done to him. Although there is a catch, Gabimaru will have to go to the island of Shinseikyo, the land of fertility and no pain. This island was thought to be a fairy tale, but a recent discovery of a new island has raised many eyebrows. This is because it is believed that an immortality-granting elixir can be found there. Many search parties have been sent but none returned alive. So the higher-ups decided to send expendable people, specifically criminals like Gabimaru, on the next search party. The reward for finding the elixir will be a pardon. Sajiri learned on her way to the prison that Gabimaru's wife is still being held at Iwagakure and has isolated herself from other people while waiting for Gabimaru's return. Sajiri uses this to persuade Gabimaru to join. However, before Gabimaru could respond, the prison's head interrupted them, taking a disapproval to the offer and dispatching guards to incapacitate them both. During this time, Gabimaru finally decides that he wants to fight for his wife. Gabimaru employs a ninjutsu technique known as ninpo, ascetic blaze. His body immediately begins to burn. Using this technique, Gabimaru defeats all of the guards. After the situation calmed down, Gabimaru ultimately makes a decision and informs Sajiri that he'll be doing it. But before they could journey to Shinseikyo they must first take a detour to Edo. But that will be all for today's recap. If you liked what you watched, here's another recap like this. Leave a like, subscribe and turn on notifications to support me. Stay tuned for the next one. Thank you for watching.